Good morning, guys. I wanted to do a quick video about a little issue that I've recently come up with upper fork nut covers that I am trying to fit for my wife's 2012 Sportster. As you can see, these are what we're dealing with. Genuine Harley parts. There's the part number. And this is what we're talking about. These are the covers that go on top of your fork tubes to hide the retention nut. So what we have here is a fitment issue that I brought to Harley's attention, and I am currently playing phone tag with one of their representatives from their engineering department to discuss this further. But basically, as I showed you, this is the part number of what I bought. We checked this through the Harley dealer and as well as on Harley's online store. As you can see on the box, this is the description of what it fits with the exceptions. This part number, however, both through Harley's online store and through their dealership, this is the part number to fit her bike. Now, what we've got here is a 2012 XL 1200C Sportster. Stock forks, 38 millimeter, 39 millimeter, I believe. And this is what we're looking at. As you can see, I've got one on there now. This is the other one that I want to show you my dilemma. When you place it on here, the amount of play on this is pretty excessive. I'm trying to measure it, and unfortunately I do not have a good set of dial calipers here because I am at my garage at my house, not at work. But there's quite a bit of play here. Almost too much for that set screw to take up. I've got these forks, as you can see, dropped down into the triple trees as far as they can safely go. Leaves exactly 1/4 inch from the top of the triple tree to the top of the fork nut. When you look at the caps, I measured the inside distance, and there is actually exactly 1/4 inch bored out. That's machined to allow to fit on top. So that's why I dropped them down into the triple trees to that distance so that I could get that one to fit. I don't know if this is going to stay permanent or not, but I wanted to at least do some research on this to see exactly where we stood. Now here's the interesting part. Right next to this is my bike. It's a 2016 Breakout. Obviously much larger forks. I believe these are 42s, 40-somethings. I'm not really sure. I don't have the specs in front of me, but clearly they're bigger forks in diameter than what is found on a Sportster. When I take this cap and set it on mine, it's a perfect fit. The side-to-side play is minimal, but enough to what you would expect to allow for proper fitment, and certainly not any excessive end play. What is there is certainly enough where the set screw would take up that slack and they would fit nicely on there. However, when we put them on the Sporty, you can see the excessive side-to-side end play. I can get the set screws on these to tighten up to the point where they hold. That one is on there firmly, but it's almost as if the set screw would almost anything more, and we would need a longer set screw, which again if this wasn't the proper part number for this bike, I would be okay with. However, after checking and double checking, they're saying that these are the caps that fit this bike. Clearly, if this is what Harley's considers proper fitment, I think they need to do some work in their quality control. But again, I don't work for Harley. I'm simply not an engineer, and not my call to make. However, another interesting point to this is if you look at this fitment description that is on their box, it says except XL 1200CX. Now, we questioned this with Harley at the dealer. Their parts guy is very, very good. Guy has never steered me wrong, never had an issue getting me the right parts, so I'm certainly going to take his word for it. But the fact that it says except 1200CX led me to believe that being a XL 1200C, this was not the correct part. But they did in fact verify that it does fit a C. I'm not really quite sure what the difference is between a C and a CX. Can't imagine that they're different forks, but possibly they are. But again, the amount of end play on this is just crazy in my book. Again, I'm not an engineer, but I would think that the fitment would be a little bit tighter, especially for what we all pay for genuine Harley parts. But again, this is what we're dealing with. So I am waiting for a call back from their engineering department to discuss this further. We're going to see if this was in fact acceptable tolerance by their standards, or perhaps we've got the wrong part packaged wrong, which does happen. Not something that happens very often, but it does happen. Or if maybe they were just not machined correctly and slipped through their quality controls. I don't know. But either way, we're going to try to get to the bottom of this and hopefully make either a correction, or hopefully this will at least help Harley make some improvements to their products, because God knows they certainly charge you enough for them. And I would think with the influx of imitation knockoffs coming through Japan, got to be starting to cut into their profit margin a little bit. God knows Harley's having enough financial issues lately. They certainly don't need to add to them. But I'd like to see this get rectified, because for $60 for this, and that's considered proper fitment, not really too good in my book, especially when, you know, again, certainly bigger forks, they fit better. I'm not sure if this is the correct part number for the breakouts, or probably the majority of the Softails out there that run these size forks, but that's a much better fit than the Sportster, which, again, they say this is the part number to fit this bike. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can do some sort of follow-up, and when we get some resolution on this, and let you guys all know. All right? Appreciate you watching. Thanks.